Hey everybody, this is Nick. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really fun interactive effect in PowerPoint, revealing your survey results one item at a time for a really interesting chart type called a bar chart or a curved bar chart. It's not a chart that you really want to use that often. It's not a great chart for accuracy, but it is very eye-catching, so you might have some great uses for it. And look at how I've made this interactive in PowerPoint. Just click on the buttons to reveal the data. And if you click on the buttons again, they disappear. Click to reveal and click to have them disappear. You can do it in a sequence, or you could just look at one result if you wanted to, and then put that one away, look at the next result, and then put that one away, etc. A pretty cool effect. So I'm going to go ahead and escape out of this slide, and we're going to build this thing pretty much from scratch. I'm not going to build the chart, but the chart is just a donut chart. So I'm going to show you how that looks and what the data look like so you can make your own. And then we're going to go and start on the interactive portion of this. So let's go ahead, escape here. You can see I have my blank slide right here. These are all the components, the recipes, the recipe that I'm going to need for my tutorial here. So this is going to be the stacked donut chart. You can see right here, we actually have made bar charts before, curved bar charts before. This one's a little bit different because it has an extra spacing section here. So this half circle, this 180 degree circle is 100%, and then this half circle is also 100%. So the data are in one column, so that's 95%, 75%, and then this spacing column here is just 100 minus whatever that data are. So I'm going to go ahead and open this in Excel so you can see what that looks like. The data source will pop up. And you can see right here we have our 4 bars, and then we have the data row right here. All the data are there. The half circle row on the bottom is just 100%, and then to 180, that's the that extra buffer column. It's a formula equals 1 minus this data right here. So it's going to get you up to 100% so that there's 2 sections of 180 degrees in this circle. Now the other thing we're going to have is these buttons, and I'm actually going to rename these light blue. Let's put that one down so that they're the colors, and we're going to actually name these on our selection pane as well. So those are going to be our buttons. They're just freeform shapes, or they're rectangles with curved edges, and I just made them, I kind of set the slider here so that they're completely curved on the ends. And then you're going to have a solid white rectangle that we're just going to leave off to the side for now, but that's going to actually cover the chart in the end. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this chart, and we're going to go to a new slide and paste it in as an SVG. You can't do this with a live chart. It has to be an SVG or an image. So from the Home tab, we're going to go click on Paste and Paste Special, and then Picture SVG, and then that creates the picture of our chart. Now I'm going to ungroup everything because SVGs group everything into their component shapes. So Control-Shift-G. Click on yes, Control-Shift-G one more time, and now you can see they've all ungrouped into their component shapes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and group 4 circles of all the components of all the rings. So the outer ring is going to be this top one, then this light blue. I'm also going to click on the data label there because that's a new shape, and then also click on that little 180 degree, that buffer column right there. Control-G to group this, and over here in the selection pane, just activate the selection pane. I have this saved to my quick access toolbar. You could also get there from the shape format menu and then go to the selection pane button right here. So here's the selection pane. You can see the group that I just made. I'm going to go ahead and call this light blue group. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this little eyedropper tool, or this little eye tool. If you click on that, that makes it disappear. It's still there on the slide, but you can just keep it behind the scenes while you work with other things. So now I'm going to go ahead and group this next set of circles, the green ring. Control-G to group. Green group. And let's go ahead and hide that with the eye tool. Hold down Shift and group everything in the outer orange ring. We're going to call this orange ring. Let's hide that. And we'll group this blue. Group. and we'll call this blue group. Okay, so that was perfect. Now let's go ahead and unclick those eyes so that we can reveal everything back again for us. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and we're going to actually copy. I'm just going to copy these buttons, but you will add your own buttons to the slide. So just go to that Insert tab there and then insert a shape, and then whatever shape you want your buttons to be, you can do that. So this light blue button, I'm going to go ahead and put right here, and I'm going to show you how we do this once, and this is what we're going to end up doing, I think, about 4 times. So right here, we're going to start the animation. Now we know that we want the animation, we want the outer ring to start from a flipped 180 degrees because we want that rotation to come out. So what we're going to first do is we have to rotate this 180 degrees. Now you could do that with your rotation tools like this, and I think that gives you a pretty exact rotation. The other thing you could do is go to the shape format menu and then click on rotate, and you could rotate it left 90 degrees 2 times. So we're going to start the animation here. We're going to put an animation on the animation tab. We're going to go down and go to the spin animation. Now you can see it gives you something a little wonky at first, but we're going to go to the animation pane here. Now it tells you what you've animated. I'm going to go ahead under my effect options and click on 180 degrees. You could put that in 180, or you could just click on half spin. So let's click on half spin. And then I want a smooth start of 1 second and a smooth end of 1 second. So click OK. And now you get a little preview of what that looks like. Now you can see how things are going. Now the thing is, I'm also going to apply a trigger to the button. So with the animation tab still activated, you can see this trigger menu right here. I'm going to say trigger, and then on the click of the light blue button. So where's my light blue button? Right here. Now let's go ahead and into slideshow mode, and let's test this out. When I click the light blue button, the animation should be activated. And yes, it is. Now when I click again, it just goes back to the beginning. So I'm going to need to apply another animation to reverse this. So let's escape out of this slide. And over on the animation tab, now you can't reapply an animation because that will get rid of what you currently have there. So you have to add the animation onto the current one. So instead of going over here this time, we're going to go to the Add Animation menu and then click on Spin. And then what we're going to do is from this effect options, I'm going to go ahead and say counterclockwise and then half spin. And then I am going to go over into the effect options menu right here and just make sure that it's 1 second start and 1 second end on that smooth end. Now you can see over here in my animation pane, this is my counterclockwise animation right here on the top, and then underneath this item that says trigger, that is going to be my first clockwise animation. If I go ahead and drag this second one right underneath there, it's going to apply that trigger to both of them. So when I click on slideshow mode, let's test it out. Click on the button to reveal the animation and click on it again, and it will go away. Perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to do that exact same thing to all of these circles. So we're going to do that in succession. I'll do this one more time, and then I'll pause the video and come back after they're all finished here. So what we're going to do is with the green circle, we're going to go ahead and make sure that it's rotated 180 degrees. I'm going to rotate it from the shape format menu, rotate left 90 and left 90, that's 180 degrees. And then from the animation tab, we're going to go ahead and apply a spin. I'm going to go ahead from the effect options. We are going to make it a half spin with a smooth start of 1 second and a smooth end of 1 second. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply the trigger of the green button. And then I'm going to add the spin animation. And I'm going to make sure that it's going to be set to half spin, counterclockwise, 1 second end start and 1 second end. And then on the animation pane, we're going to go ahead and just make sure that we drag that underneath the green button group. And let's go ahead and test this out. Oh, my green button's over there because I haven't moved it, but once I push this, the green should go and back, and the blue should go and back. All right, and what we can do is we're just going to move that green button where it should be right there. Perfect. All right, I'm going to do this with the orange circle and the blue circle, and I'll be right back. All right, I've applied all of my animation sequences, my rotation animations with my triggers to all 4 of my rings. You can see them over here, all the trigger sections here, the 4 sections of triggers. Let's play it in slideshow mode and see if this works. Light blue there, green, orange, blue, and they all go out and they all come in. All right, now we just need to do a little bit of formatting and some trickery. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this white rectangle. You're going to go ahead and paste in your own rectangle, make sure that it's white, and all we need to do is make sure that it is on the layer below the green button. So put it over the top. You can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and send backwards. I think we're going to just send this backwards 4 times. You can see each time you send backwards, it goes down 1 layer. And each of those buttons is revealed just so that it's in the middle layer, so all the buttons are on top. And then I'm going to just drag that over here so you can't really see a lot of that, a lot of the extra 180s. And this is where we can now isolate each of these gray rings and make them white. So let's go ahead and just under the Format Shape menu over here, or let's say No Fill to those. So I'm going to go ahead and say No Fill. And no fill. And the other thing that I think we want to do, I'm actually going to move that rectangle back, is we actually want to make the gray buffers, we want those also to be white or no fill. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these buttons, I'm just going to drag them over, I'm just going to nudge them over really quick. Oops, that's not going as quick as I thought it would go. Just so that we can see these. Now I'm going to isolate that, double click it to isolate it, say no fill. Isolate that one, no fill, no fill, and no fill. Now we're going to put our buttons back, and well, we might have to nudge them a little bit. We'll see if this is the right position. I think it should be pretty close. We'll put our white border back up. You can see right there we need to move those white buttons, or we need to move our buttons over just a little bit. I'm just going to hold down Shift to activate them all. Nudge them over just a little bit. And then just for a little styling, I like to put this little axis line here. So let's go ahead to the shapes and add a line. And we might nudge this over depending on how it looks. But make sure that it's just straight up and down. And then I'm going to make this a gray color and maybe 3 points. So it looks kind of nice there. Now remember, anything in PowerPoint that you put off the slide is not going to show up in slideshow mode, so that's going to be just fine. Let's go ahead, play it in slideshow mode, and see how it looks. Oh, you can still see that we have a little bit of that bar right there. So let's move this. Let's nudge our white just a little bit over, and we'll nudge the line just a little bit over too. Let's play it in slideshow mode, see what it looks like. Okay, good. Looks like everything is good. Light blue, green, orange, blue. Perfect. And blue, orange, green. Awesome. That looks so cool. Now, the other trick is if I just wanted to create this as an interactive slide and have my audience look at it on their computer as an interactive slide, what you can do is go up to slideshow mode, and we can go to, let's see, what do we need to do? We need to go to set up slideshow. And then what we're going to say is browsed at a kiosk full screen. You're going to say presented by a speaker full screen. I was testing this out, so I already had it, the kiosk selected. Click on browsed at a kiosk full screen. And that means that when your audience opens this PowerPoint, if it plays in slideshow mode, nobody can click to advance the slide. They're only going to be able to click on the things that are clickable on that slide. So we're going to go ahead and put that in slideshow mode. We'll just go ahead and click these buttons. If I click off to the side, usually if this wasn't in a kiosk mode, it would go to the next slide if there was a next slide. So this is a way that you can kind of force your viewers to use this interactivity. And of course, we know that the way for your viewers to open this presentation in slideshow mode directly is to go ahead and go to File, Save As. We're going to save this as a copy. and you're going to save it as a PowerPoint show. You're not going to save it as a PPTX, a presentation. We're going to go down and save it as a PowerPoint show, wherever that might be, if we can find it down here. Where is it? It's right here, PowerPoint show. So it's .ppsx. So if you save it as a .ppsx and then somebody double clicks to open it on their end, it's going to open directly in slideshow mode, and they won't see all of the behind the scenes design guts. So this is a pretty cool trick. I hope that you enjoyed it. I know it's a really long video, but it might be worth it if you have some data like this, or if you just have some other circles that you want to rotate, you can use this technique to rotate other circles as well. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it. You'll get notified every time I post a new video in presentation design or data design, usually Excel or PowerPoint tutorials. I had a great time making this for you, and I can't wait to see you all next time.